thing is all over the world. So this is actually one company I do invest in. Ondas provides like drone services, which I think drone warfare is definitely going to be something that's going to be huge in the future. And I think investing in companies that make drones. When I say, I'm not talking about eVTOLs, the electronic vertical takeoff and landing. I'm talking about the drone, the type of drones that kind of fly around, that we've seen in Ukraine used for warfare. There's definitely a lot right now that is definitely kind of going on with around drones, and Ondas is actually has multiple different platforms within its program to provide drone related services. They've actually signed a whole bunch of contracts with their government as well. And they've signed they are partnered up with Palantir. I mean, I don't know, everybody's partnered up with Palantir these days, but that makes them just kind of a stronger against their competition when it comes to when it comes to being AI enabled, or even being partnered up with other companies out there like Palantir, who's really close to the government, right? I think Ondas is actually a pretty good investment here. I really don't have a ton of them, but I do hold a certain amount in my portfolio. A certain amount in my portfolio, because I really do think that they provide an interesting service. So business units, so they got Ondas Networks. So Ondas Networks is a full max software defined radio SDR connectivity, enabling the employment of intelligent data application across broader range of industrial market, including retail, rail, utilities, and oil, gas. Full max and end-to-end platform, maximizing data capacity, efficiently allocating bandwidth, and prioritizing mission-critical application. The full max adoption by Class 1 railroad has begun with FCC mandate requiring the 900 MHz network upgrade by 2025. As a result of the industry-leading platform, Siemens have partnered with Ondas to deliver network solution for IEEE 802.16 wireless standard to customers, including BNSF and CSX Rail Company. Ondas estimates that the total addressable market for North American rail market is about 1.3 billion. So why is this kind of stuff important? Is right now we're seeing some of the warfare that's going on in Iran, and Iran, as well as Ukraine, and we're seeing that they're flying all these different drones. Let's see if I can find a drone video. They're using drones. Drone Ukraine, and they're actually flying them around. But some of the problem with these drones is that they are operated in a very specific way, meaning the drones are kind of they either have the fires, or the enemy is able to kind of kill the power on the drones so that they cannot be operated anymore. But one thing that Ukraine kind of did during their warfare is, because the enemy learned, okay, we can just cut the power, or shoot it with some kind of like radio frequency to where it can't receive the radio frequencies anymore. It became a problem of, okay, like, how are we gonna have this kind of drone warfare if the enemy can just kind of power down drones, power down our drones with this radio frequency, and then they end up using like these long wires to be able to attack with these drones. Wired. Let's see if I can find one. They started using how Russian drone strike work against Ukraine. Yeah, I don't know if I can find one. So they're using these like long cables, the military tech cameras, jamming resistant fiber optics. So this is these are the problems. So they have the military tech to combat Russia's jamming resistant fiber optics drones. So they just literally, this is just like a long wire that's plugged into the drone, and now at this point the drone is not even operated with a remote control wirelessly. It's actually has a specific wire that's connected to it that just goes on, for miles and miles, and can be used, and then it can't be destroyed or stopped by some kind of radio frequency. And so that's why this here becomes very important to be able to build a radio frequency that can be jammed by the enemy. And that's why Ondas is kind of like advertising this here, where so you see that's the cable that just goes on and on and on and on. You just put it right here. You have a little TV camera. You can see the drone just fly off. So this is why the something like having a 900 megahertz network that kind of is very secure, cannot be hacked into by anybody else. It becomes an important security element when it comes to building a drone, which I think this really benefits a company like see that they're showing you that the fiber optics cable having this radio frequency is really going to benefit a company like Ondas to actually when the government says, hey, we need drones, but we don't want them to be plugged into this long cord that's going to show, even if these cords are very thin and cannot be seen, you don't want to have cords on these drones. You just want to be able to fly them. Don't worry about any wiring. And so having these frequencies is going to become very important for companies to have the ability to be very secure from the enemy. Radio jamming frequencies like that, as you can see, boom, just shot down that drone because you have these radio frequencies that can identify and kind of jam the remote controller. And then this is when it becomes important, when the government is looking for drones. Ondas becomes a very important target, and the government is going to end up buying, drones from Ondas. So it looks like obviously they got rail companies, Siemens, who's already using this platform. Critical upgrade to enhance safety, 2,000 locomotives. So let's look. So we looked at the Ondas Networks and then Ondas Autonomous Systems. So the Ondas Autonomous System business, a OAS business unit, designs, develops, and markets commercial drone solutions via Optimus Systems, the world's first FAA certified small UAS developed for aerial security and data capture and the Iron Drone Raider. So this is the Iron Drone Raider right here, and you have these drones that are independently controlled. You actually don't even have to be there. You can even just map an area, and these drones will take off and land whenever they need to, which is kind of cool. If we look up at Ondas drones, you'll notice that they kind of have a video on this here. So these drones just kind of sit inside of this box and they can just take off and land whenever they need. At the Ondas drone autonomous drone platform, the autonomous drone platform are highly automated, AI powered by drone systems capable of continuous remote operation and are marketed as a drone in a box turnkey data solution service. They are deployed for critical industrial and government application where data information collection and processing are required. Data information collection. So think of like maybe cities, maybe think of farms, maybe think of certain areas around like a certain territory in another country. And that's it. And the cool part about Ondas is actually looks like they have certain kind of drone defense capability, so they can kind of bring down other drones. The autonomous drone platform are typically provided by customers under a data as a service business. American robotics and aerobotics have industry-leading regulatory success, which includes the first of its kind FAA Type Certification for the Optimus Systems, and have the first drone system approved by FAA for automated operation beyond visual line of sight without human operations. That's kind of cool. I'm sure there's stuff. Yeah, so that is kind of cool. Now you can, these drones can fly around, collect data on farms, maybe collect data in the cities, collect data if you maybe put these into on the border. Imagine you put these Ondas drones all along the border and between the US and Mexico, or maybe in Canada. These drones, when they detect somebody or something moving around, they fly along the border, capture whatever they need to, come back, land, send the data in a secure manner to whatever center, and this can be analyzed. So, which is, I think, pretty cool here. So Ondas as a company, I think they're definitely doing the right things here. They recently, Iron Drone is fully automated software. Yeah, we saw this video. Yeah, so they recently actually partnered up with they actually has secured a purchase order from major U.S. public safety agency for its Castro system. This trusted customer UAS supports airspace and security at high visible public events. Imagine having these drones fly around when Trump was being elected. That would have been insane. I mean, you just have these things flying around, make sure everything is okay, look for enemies. Has successfully closed. So looks like, as you can see here, Ondas Holdings has successfully closed a $46 million public offering, including, looks like they issued shares to raise some money so they can continue, to invest in themselves and maybe invest in the growth of the company. Funds will support growth across a wireless and autonomous technology platform. I don't hate that. A lot of times, this kind of dilutes the shareholders, but overall, it's not a bad thing at all. Ondas has secured a million order from major defense customer. Ondas has secured a $14.3 million order from a major defense customer for its Optimus drone system, our largest yet. This milestone highlights the growing demand for autonomous drone infrastructure, complex military and security environments, with our backlog growing to 28.7 million. Ondas is well positioned to meet the evolving need for the global defense and public safety customers. I mean, pretty cool stuff here. They just landed $14 million. I still think Ondas has a really good potential here, even though the stock price has kind of exploded to the upside significantly. Oscar, let's change this to ONDS. So this is the Ondas stock, and if I was to zoom out and we look at let's look at the monthly, you can see this company obviously IPO'd at 15 bucks, and they're kind of hit bottom at 38 cents, and they're now is $1.58. Like, definitely don't know where it's gonna go in the short to mid-term, but over the long term, this company is gonna come right back to where it was, because at the end of the day, drone demand, safe network demand, and safe communication demand, like what Ondas provides, is going to become very, very, very important. And so, I mean, even though the stock is here, looks like, you know, it's gone. What do we see here? Let's change this to candles. I mean, the recent time, I mean, you've seen it, what, 77 cents. It's gone up 100% here. But however, I mean, the stock over the long term is down, you know, since IPO here. It's down. That can't be right. It's down, you know, from $13-14 to $1. So it's lost a lot of value. But once again, this company is small. It's very, very risky. And you know, you could easily lose a lot of money by investing into small companies like this, because they can just run out of business. They can it takes one short report or one really bad SEC filing that they don't report everything. They could really they can get hit really bad. But overall, like, it looks like this company is starting to, from the chart perspective, starting to get just a little higher high. Maybe there's some drawing tools here. There's no drawing tools, so you know, we could see higher high here. The company can keep growing. This could be, you know, like some people say, cup and handle. This could be the handle here, and then we go up, what, $2, $3. As you can see, this has happened before. 2025, right? Begin December 22. So beginning 2025, the stock kind of explodes to $3, comes back down to like pennies. So anything can happen here. Well, I mean, I think of the future of drones are here, and I'm not gonna say Ondas, you know, it's gonna be the winner. Obviously, there could be a lot of winners in this industry. I think I saw a couple of so the competition is actually really intense. So you have Ondas here at about looks like when this was January 2025, Ondas was $2.80, but you have all these small cap portfolio holding. Looks like he's holding Ondas. I thought there was like a list of, okay. Let's go companies that make drones. And this company very produced the first 1,000 FPV drones. Look at this. It's all fun and game for now, right? But in the future, I mean, these drones are definitely going to be big players in the market. What is this? The Russian company, conveniently located near the Chinese border, makes Valve FPV drone, which they claim is domestic product. Interesting. So this drone can fly, but maybe even defend itself, or can be sensed by anything else. So India's building drones. Trump asked American companies to create drones similar to Iranian ones. So you can see, I mean, Trump is very, I mean, he definitely is. I mean, he recently signed the whole um, the whole thing about drone innovation, but he also signed a whole thing about the space, the golden dome, which is definitely a big, drones are going to play a big role in that. I mean, there's a lot of companies that benefited from the whole gold from the whole thing that Trump signed regarding the golden dome, like STS, Rocket Lab, this company kind of flies and lands rockets. I mean, their stock has definitely dominated throughout the year because obviously this company, they're competing with a company like Elon, which launching and landing rockets all. But yeah, the stock has just been growing insane amounts. It's up a couple 100% as of now. But yeah, Rocket Lab, SCS, space. Let me see. So it looks like a future of space logistics. But anyways, yeah, let's look at how Trump did sign that drone space golden dome. So the golden dome, practically, if we have something like this, right, something that defends the United States in some kind of, like, obviously this is more a visual representation of anything that happens within around the United States will definitely be detected within, with radars and everything else. But then these radars, they have to be above anything else so that it can catch anything that comes in. And so that means these satellites and everything else have to be shipped into space. Golden Dome is a missile defense fantasy. I mean, it's, you can call it fantasy, but I think it's going to be a very, very important thing, especially if in the world of where rockets, and the world where we're becoming even more and more independent, dependent on technology. I think it becomes very important that we have some kind of like defensive system, so no one, if anyone tries to attack us, attack the United States, that we can kind of defend ourselves. And then Lockheed Martin actually made a really cool ad here, that practically by the time you hear, if there's some kind of threat that does happen here, it's not even gonna reach the United States. It's gonna be peaceful, but then the threat is gonna be taken care of even before it reaches the United States. It's a really cool, it's a really cool theory, really cool, awesome theory.